Hi, I'll pick up where I left off in the last video from the chapter on the Anschlag in Carl Philipp Emanuel Bach's Versuch über die wahre Art, das Klavier zu spielen. The Anschlag also comes in with the repeat of a tone that is before a falling or descending second. In figure 84b, we see it coming with the repeated C before a B. The B is the falling second. Bärenreiter would understand the C as being the falling second. It would be two things as far as Bärenreiter are concerned: a repeated note and a falling second. With their limited reading comprehension, they would have seen this as supporting the claim they made in their introduction. Stupid for them that they didn't include this to back up their argument. Just like they said the pral trill should come after a falling second, they could say that Bach got it right here when he said the Anschlag comes before a falling second. It's before the C, which they see as the falling second. But Bach says it comes with the repeat of a tone that is before a falling second. The C is the repeated tone before a falling second, and the Anschlag comes in with or before that C, depending on how accurate you want to be. Again, from the time of Mozart on, such cases will be indicated with the TR sign or the zigzag, very often in the company of a slur. And the roll of honour will not play an Anschlag, they'll play their shake. Before I give examples of where this situation occurs, seeing as I was looking at K279, I would like to return to what was said in the previous paragraph, paragraph 5. We saw there that the Anschlag can be used on a note where the second above or below comes first. In bar 2 of K279, a D comes before the C with the TR sign. There the Anschlag will be used as the only ornament that can be skillfully used in that place. And of course the short appoggiatura from above. Also, imagine how cluttered the page would be, how one would quickly lose the overview if there were two small 30-second notes of the Anschlag shoved in among all those 16th notes. Imagine how much more expensive the printing might have been. So there would be lots of reasons why why it will have felt to have made sense not to have indicated the Anschlag. In bars 14 and 15, we again see the notes with the TR sign being preceded by a second above. In the first movement of Mozart's Sonata in B-flat major, K281, in the development section, we see from bars 41 to 44 a series of repeated notes before falling seconds. We see slurs. This is where the Anschlag is used. It preserves the slur. It preserves the singing. It preserves the pulse and the proper rhythm. And it preserves the phrase and the sentiment or the passion. The roll of honour with their shakes, their lieblichen Trillerchen, destroy all these things. You can research it. The Anschlag is not only more effective, is not only correct, but it is much easier to perform. It's much more reliable. The shake, when used inappropriately, blocks the way to deeper insight into the music. In K284, the Sonata in D major, the Dürnitz Sonata, we see the same between bars 22 and 23. G. Henle Verlag suggest a prowl trill. You know, there's this appendix that comes with the G. Henle Verlag sonatas that has suggestions. And in that, they suggest a prowl trill for that bit. They're your experts. They're the experts, the roll of honour experts. A prowl trill cannot go there. Here's some of paragraph 34 from the chapter on trills. Dieser prowl triller kann nicht anders als vor einer fallenden Sekunde vorkommen. Sie mag nun durch einen Vorschlag oder eine große Note entstehen. Figur 47. The F is the falling second, and the prowl trill comes before the F. And see that example. That is the only place a prowl trill can occur. It cannot occur over a repeated note. Bach wasn't having a laugh when he said that. He didn't say it just for fun. The experts at G. Henle Verlag, either clueless to what Bach said or indifferent to it, want you to defy nature. They put before you an unattainable goal. going against everything that is good in music, and in doing so, are serving the cage by putting you in it. Disgraceful. Bach said it, so you don't fall victim to these impostors, these snake oil salesmen, feeding you false or poisonous information. Here's some of what he said in the preface to his Versuch. Bei allem diesen habe ich hauptsächlich meine Absicht zugleich auf diejenigen Lehrer gerichtet, welche ihre Schüler bisher nicht nach den wahren Grundsätzen der Kunst angeführt haben. That's why he was saying that. Liebhaber, die durch falsche Vorschriften verhuddelt wurden, können sich von selbsten nach meinen Lehrsätzen zurecht helfen. These are those falsche Vorschriften, and these are an example of those falsche Vorschriften. The roll of honor not only waste your time, but they also waste your potential. A lifelong if you let them. By the way, in G. Henle's Verlag's suggestions for ornaments, there is not a single Anschlag, nor is there a single mordant. That is evidence to support what I'm saying. It can be seen there that the roll of honor's vocabulary, aside from the writing out of trills, consists of nothing but turns and shakes. It went from 7 to fragments of 3 because their turns are incorrect. They have a half-baked knowledge of 3. So not only is their vocabulary, basic vocabulary down from 7 to 3, that 3 is half, their knowledge of that 3 is half-baked. And a little knowledge is a dangerous thing. Drink deep or not at all. Because a little knowledge, half-baked knowledge like that will put you in the cage. And the cage has no mercy. It will let you live your life never realizing your true potential. In bar 12 of the second movement of K310, Mozart's Sonata in A minor, I use an Anschlag with the first B flat. We see a slur. For the other Tior signs, I use a short appoggiatura because there is no space for the Anschlag. I mean, there wasn't for me. Plus, the variety helps the phrase, the balance of the phrase. G. Henle Verlag suggests a shake to kill the slur. There's a surprise. And with what I said before about skillful, geschicklich, and not considering the short appoggiatura to be in that class of dexterous ornament, it takes a lot more dexterity to perform the appoggiaturas in bar 9 as short appoggiaturas than to play them as normal notes. roll of honour think they are playing long appoggiaturas with the way they play that bar. But they're not. They're just playing notes. And it can be observed that they add a dullness or the blandness of a lack of variety to the whole section. They fall into that trap. If they understood what a long appoggiatura is, they'd know it is not possible to correctly perform or express long appoggiaturas in that shortness of time. They drag Mozart down by projecting their mediocrity onto him. Here's how the section is meant to be played. In the third movement of K310, in bar 27, we see the same. Repeated notes before falling seconds, and slurs, where the roll of honour will kill the singing, the slur, the pulse, if their playing had a pulse, which it doesn't, and the phrase with their lovely little trills. They won't be able to bring out the dynamics, neither the crescendo nor the forte. Check it out. All those failings, yet the awful effort, the practice they had to do for their pathetic result. Mozart was very fond of the Anschlag, yet Mozart experts, the roll of honour champions, don't even know what an Anschlag is, never mind bringing it in connection with Mozart. I used the Anschlag again in bar 163. The previous note, the C sharp, is a second below the D that has the T-or sign. So, going in accordance with paragraph 5. Listen to the speed required for the ornament not to upset the pulse. And then listen to the roll of honour play it. What they do to that entire section is not as sorry as the fact that nobody out there in classical music land notices it. But I don't rule out there being exceptions. You know, I'll look out and see a uniformity in the landscape. That does not mean that when I look closer, there'll be exceptions. There is never pulse that doesn't have rhythm, but there is rhythm that doesn't have pulse. That's how the two are both separate and inextricably linked. Wherever there's pulse, there'll always be rhythm. But that's not the case the other way round. There'll be rhythm that has no pulse. Metronomes have rhythm without pulse. In K570, in bar 45, the only ornament that can be skillfully brought in is the Anschlag. What do G. Henle, Verlag suggest? No prizes for guessing. The prowl trill. It's a joke. The same too in bar 105 of the development section. And in bar 175 of the recapitulation. All that situation of the repeat of a tone before a falling second. Okay, I'll leave it at that for this video, and I'll pick up where I left off in the next. Thanks. Bye.